this hour has 22 minutes. With J.B. Dixon, Frank McMillan, and Sidney Zabistanchek.
Good evening. Canada was captivated last week with the swearing-in of Jean Chrétien, our 20th Prime Minister. The elegant ceremony took place in the hallowed halls of the Governor-General's mansion, the elegant Rideau Hall. Before the ceremony began, usher after usher asked former Prime Minister Pierre Elliott Trudeau if the man next to him was bothering him. Trudeau replied he was prepared to stomach John Turner for just this one occasion. Turner begged Trudeau to include at least a mention of him in his memoirs. Trudeau's response, "Fuddle-duddle, in your dreams, turncoat." The procession began led by a pallbearer, carrying the ashes of the late Tory party, much to the amusement of the new First Lady, Aline Chrétien. Prominent Liberals once again begged Trudeau to lead the party, but he declined. With uncharacteristic shyness, Chrétien hid himself behind a well-placed microphone for the rest of the ceremony.
Bonjour, any question?
Outside, talking to reporters, Prime Minister Chrétien was asked when the very first of his MPs would be charged with corruption and/or influence peddling.
I'm the Prime Minister now since an hour and 45 minutes. Give me a break.
Yes, give them time and I'm sure they will deliver. JB?
Thanks, Frank. Well, thousands of school children took to the streets in Edmonton and Calgary this week, demanding that a better grade of paper be used in their math textbook.
The students are hysterical, saying that at least 11 of them have received paper cuts from the poor quality book, and they have yet to reach Chapter 6.
This is what the dropout rate is going to be if there is all those cuts, because there's too much stress in schools as it is today.
To prove a point, one student intentionally cut his pinky finger with a page entitled Understanding Fractions and immediately fainted.
I'm not going to meet with a bunch of disobedient kids.
The always understanding Premier Ralph Klein demanded that the federal government bring in the Navy to disperse the student. 2 aging Sea King helicopters attempted a flyover, but unfortunately, they crashed into one another, reaffirming the need for brand new EH-101 attack helicopters to discipline school children when necessary.
I tell you, when I was in school, they sent the Navy in a number of times and didn't bother me.
The Valley Girl and the Separatist. They met on a plane. Lucien Bouchard and the California girl. 21 years his junior. She didn't know he was married, let alone reviled by many of his countrymen. She thought it was neat when Mr. Diplomat turned out to be Mr. Ambassador. Audrey Bouchard, although shy, is adjusting to life as the leader of the opposition's wife. Last week, Mr. Bouchard stated there are urgent problems awaiting us: unemployment, job creation, and the reduction of the deficit. Mrs. Bouchard, who was at his side, was quoted as saying, pressed for further comment, Mrs. Bouchard simply said,
That's quite an in-depth report, Sidney. I'm impressed.
thank you. JB?
We go now to Russian cosmonaut Alexander Suvorov. He has been in space for 165 days, and now his planned return has been extended an additional 49 days. It seems that the engine factory, which produces the booster rocket necessary for his return, is bankrupt. Hello, Alexander. Can you hear me?
Da! Hello into you, Canada. Your Chuck Chobani is some good lawyer.
Mr. Suvorov, how are you holding up?
Oh, not so bad. No bread lines, still plenty liquid ham. Shouldn't complain.
But how are you personally feeling?
Elongated, and I am so lonely. I'm a people person.
You've been up there for quite a while. What do you miss the most?
Standing up.
What's it like up there? How are you spending your time?
Mostly looking out window.
It must be a spectacular view from up there.
No, it's all fogged up.
Well, you do have some company up there. How is your co-pilot, Vaslav Tizbliev?
Oh, dirty. like young monkey's wedding.
If there is a rescue attempt by NASA, is there anything you'd like brought up?
Achy, breaky, hot elbow.
Hello? Hello? We seem to have lost the feed. Alexander is still up there. Godspeed, Alexander. Godspeed.
I doubt that the constitutional politicians in Northern Ireland have any authority over these murdering butchers.
The IRA butchers? The bloody butchery in Somalia? The butcher of Leon? Yeah, I'm a butcher. Hey, I got feelings too. I'm in here all day, covered in blood, humping around cow carcasses, so you can have your Canada #1 grade A crown roast, your top quality pork chops, fat on. But then, when somebody can't think of something bad enough to call someone who's committed an unspeakable act, what did he call him? A butcher. Hey, thanks. Thanks a lot. I appreciate your appreciation.
I don't really blame the Bloc Québécois for just being a little bit off about having to swear allegiance to the Queen and her ears. Don't get me wrong, God loved the Queen. God loved the Queen Mother, but let's face it, the ears are just a little bit too weird, aren't they? And you know, having the monarchy in our lives, that only costs us, $25 million a year. For that much money, we might as well swear allegiance to the Jacksons. Canadians deserve some choice. Like, I could not swear allegiance to Prince Charles. Let's face it, he's stunned as a post. Nor could I swear allegiance to his wife. Anyone who was so miserable with their lot and life as a beautiful princess should just be put to work in a Cape Breton coal mine. So come on, Canada. If there's one thing we do really well as a nation, it's our ability to get together, stand up, and say no about stuff. So why don't we just take Australia's lead, say no to the royals, and we still get to sit back and watch as the whole miserable lot of them just eat one another like rats in a cage. Now that's entertainment.
And now the news for people who took Latin in school and have always been a little bit bitter they've never been able to use it. The Latin news. Caeporum, meos jambes per dis diem semper fi, Garthus Drabinskiam, Caepora diem Shobotium, Esta North York Centre. Caveat emptor. A2 Sydney?
Angsthe, Angfrey. In international news, the drug problem in China continues to escalate. Last week, a panda bear, high on the drug ecstasy, grabbed a man's coat and insisted that it was the one he left at a party the night before, and that there was a gram of cocaine in the pocket. The man reluctantly gave up the garment only to get it back later with an abject apology from the bear and a promise to go into rehab as soon as he finds work.
Well, the move to save the ancient forests of Clayoquot Sound has gone national. Clayoquot Sound Express is heading from Halifax to Vancouver via rail. Ironically, former Iranian hostage Thierry Anderson, who was in Canada promoting his new book, accidentally boarded the train and was trapped for 18 hours. He found himself in a caboose with gaggles of tree lovers, including author Farley Mowat and children's entertainer Raffi. I spoke with Thierry Anderson earlier. Mr. Anderson, thank you for granting us this interview. How are you holding up now?
You do it day by day. You do it hour by hour. You fight to keep your mental balance.
Now, apparently everyone on the train was a vegetarian. The only food available was a curried lentil loaf or something. Did you enjoy the food?
Food was awful. Food was filthy.
Now, of course, well-known Canadian author Farley Mowat was on the train with you. In a couple of words, how would you describe him?
Aggressive, argumentative.
What went through your mind when Raffi picked up his guitar and actually began to sing about the trees?
As you can imagine, my head was full of guilt, and regret, and anger, and frustration.
How were the rest of the protesters?
Some of them are thugs, some of them are psychotic, some of them are vicious, others are normal, more or less normal young men.
Now that your ordeal is over, is there anything at all that you would like to say to the world?
My life is very good right now. I'm a very happy man. I'm not going to spend my time hating, being angry.
Thank you very much.
In America, in 1993, the average prison sentence for a woman who kills her husband, 15 to 20 years. But for a man who kills his wife, 2 to 6. In America, in 1993, the city of Kansas had more killings and more guns than they even had in their heyday as the top town in the Wild, Wild West. In America. Oh, God. Sometimes I just feel so happy and so grateful that we've got America to feel morally superior to, you know, eh? Because, I mean, if we didn't have America to look down our smug, self-satisfied Canadian noses at, well, then I guess we just have to have a look at ourselves, eh? And realize that Canada was just another fat cat G7 country who's living shamelessly high off the hog on the utter degradation, crushing poverty, and unremitting misery of the rest of the world. But, hey, we're lucky, because in America, 40 hunters had their cremated remains shoved into a rifle bullet and shot at animals. Oh, God bless America.
Deficit watch. Why are we in debt? Well, let's just take a look at this guy cleaning out his office on Parliament Hill. Look, perfectly good file folder. Here it goes. In the garbage it goes. Look at that. Perfectly good. We, at this hour, has 22 minutes, have priced that file folder, and it cost us about $3.49. That's $3.49 the government could have saved, but they didn't. Waste not one. Over to you, Sydney.
Super mom, supermodel, and now super lesbians. Super lesbian K.D. Lang stopped 2 gay teen girls who were about to go out on a double date with boys with whom they not only could not attain any level of emotional intimacy with, but who were also unaware that the brake fluid was about on empty in their dad's car. The relieved but shaken teens, who were later seen holding hands in a Birkenstock sandal store, were quoted in this morning's news as saying they first saw Lang approaching as a blinding purple light. They then felt themselves lifted above the car until the boys became like little ants on the ground. Then they felt themselves become clear and vivid and begin to understand the lyrics of Ingenue. Contacted just after Lang safely deposited them back at their parents' homes, the girls said she was awesome, and for a big-boned gal, she sure can fly.
The situation in Somalia is explosive and continues to worry the world. We hear continual reports of military rule and mob violence. We talk now to our foreign correspondent, Tim McMillan. Hello, Tim.
Hello.
Tim, can you tell us what it's like under military rule? Can you tell us what the feeling is in Mogadishu tonight?
No.
Why is that, Tim?
I'm not in Somalia. I'm at the airport.
Which airport, Tim?
Vancouver.
Why Vancouver, Tim?
I thought I'd take a different route, west instead of east. Apparently, I'll have to stay in Hawaii overnight. I can get a connecting flight if they're not booked, but I may not get out until the weekend. And quite frankly, I was wondering if there was any point going into Mogadishu. I have a feeling I might have missed the whole story. I know Clinton says 6 to 8 months, but I have a feeling that things might just blow themselves out by week's end. If that's the case, maybe I could just do some kind of story from Maui.
I think you should head on back, Tim.
I seem to have a bad connection, Frank. I can't quite hear you. I'll call you from Hawaii. Aloha.
Thank you for that report, Tim.
Gee, Frank, it's great that your brother gets to travel around so much.
Yes, my brother Tim does have that wanderlust.
Well, now it's time for this hour's weather.
Thank you, 22. It's me, Joe Crow, with the weather. All right, in Joe Haven, 22 below, so cold, your thoughts freeze before you can think them. Great weather for huskies. Yeah, and in Inuvik, right around Porcupine area. Freezing snow, icy conditions, low visibility, kind of a whiteout. A polar bear's picnic, eh? It's rainy and chilly down around Hudson Bay. Great weather for otter, our fun-loving brothers. In Cape Dorset, light snow clearing towards afternoon. Great weather for caribou, the wisdom keeper. And now for my weather joke. As I said to my elder, Elder, a little birdie told me about your attitude with money. Cheap, cheap, cheap! Okay, so if you're going shape-shifting, don't forget your feathers, and don't forget to leave your answering machine on, because you can miss a lot of messages. One time my ancestors called with a message of hope for our people, and I forgot to leave the message machine on. So don't forget. Good night, eh? Thanks for watching, and just do careful, eh?
And now, following our apocalyptic countdown, in California, fire. In Corsica, flooding. And the seventh sign of the apocalypse, Lucien Bouchard heads the official opposition. We'll be right back.
And now it's time for Film Talk with this hour's Blaine Laneley.
Welcome to Film Talk. I am your host, Blaine Laneley. Tonight, iDancing, a film that is more popular than M. Butterfly. And for those of you who do not know M. Butterfly, it's just a very popular film. Tonight, we welcome the director and actor, star actor in iDancing, Yoko Makahoko. Welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, what kind of name is Makahoko?
Well, Blaine, I'm Japanese on my parents' side.
Hank, roll that clip.
iDancing develops style, precision, and patience. You see that move there, Blaine?
Yes, I think so.
That move requires years of study and amazing lid strength.
I see.
iDancing is a truly exalted art form.
Yes, and a bit of an acquired taste, I would say.
Yes, like pickle beet.
So, in this movie, you have an hour and a half of your eyes just darting back and forth, back and forth.
Not just darting. No, iDancing contains 8,475 moves, and only 4,640 are in this film.
It's a shame. So I guess there are no prehistoric dinosaurs chasing people. There is no ex-lover with an ice pick or a little space guy on a bicycle, none of that?
Well, yes, but entire story told with eyes.
Your eyes must get so tired.
You betcha. I keep Cucumber Slice Company in business.
How much does it cost to become an iDancer?
A lot of money, because I studied for 6 years in Japan.
So I guess the Canada Council gave you quite a lot of money.
That's right, too much really.
iDancing. Watch for it.
Good movie. When contacted by This Hour Has 22 Minutes, the new Liberal government said that although 10 of the 22 cabinet ministers are from Ontario, there is no Bloc Ontario operating in the cabinet per se. One cabinet minister from Toronto added that if this line of questioning continued, all transfer payments to the regions would immediately cease.
Well, hockey fans, we've got a real treat for you tonight. Well-known hockey great Peter McCormick is in the men's locker room with some tips on how you can be a sports sensation.
Welcome to Hockey Notebook. Now listen up! Our big focus this week for the new season is, of course, skating. Skating, very important. Now, stick handling, important, but not as important as skating. Moving on now to goals. Very important, possibly more important than skating. So look it, this season, skating, extremely important, but goal scoring, most important of all. Again, the key to winning, scoring those goals. Next week, why you should wear a helmet. Good night, Canada. Thanks for watching.
As Jean Chrétien said this week, the truth will set you free. Unless, of course, you've stepped into a leg hole trap, in which case a pair of strong arms and a blowtorch wouldn't hurt.
And congratulations going out to our newest Solicitor General, Herb Gray. Most of you remember him, of course, as the journeyman guitarist whose early work influenced B.B. King. His latest CD, Herb Gray Unplugged, is said to be phenomenal. Congratulations, Herb.
And, well, that's the way we saw the world this week. This is J.B. Dixon saying once and for all, I am not now, nor have I ever been involved in a common law relationship with one Sheila Maureen Copps. A two-day fling on the rum in Jamaica does not a marriage make.
To them action heroes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
I
way
know.
it looked.
Yeah. Chuck Norris and them got burnt out, yeah?
Yeah, I heard that.
Chuck and them, a lot of them jumped right through the front window, but Chuck went and got a stuntman to do it for him.
Right. Is that right?
Yeah, and then he burned his hand and everything over.
I heard that. I heard that too, yeah.
They don't know how to do a good fire down that way, though.
No, not like we do. No, not like us.